Alright, g'day from Australia. Get straight into it. Cricket's on. I want to see us beat the Poms. Alright. I definitely want to give a brief mention to an ICO that's got my interest. It's called Globitexico. No, Globitexico. But basically, what it is a global Bitcoin exchange. Pardon me, ICO. It's got a very low market cap. Socials are less than 5,000 on Telegram. It's still got a few days to come, so you're looking at the sale on 10th of February. Now, not financial advice, so by all means, you don't need to listen to a word I say. In fact, I've probably got no idea what I'm rambling on about. But in a nutshell, this looks like it's going to be an exchange platform where BTC can be effectively traded for other commodities, from precious metals to oil, wheat, gas. So it looks like they're going to try and actually formalize the relationship with cryptocurrencies and stock exchange. Now, my only concern is pegging it against Bitcoin, especially in the last 6 months. I think everyone's watched the rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall of Bitcoin, making it one of the difficult uses. Well, basically, it was designed for a store of value, which it's a hard argument when it's going up and down. Like, yeah. I guess the main thing is if they open up the cryptocurrency market, so not just Bitcoin, but I don't know, something that might come out. Let's say Bitcoin Cash wins the race, or who knows what this landscape will look like in 2 years' time. But I would be suggesting Bitcoin, its dominance has dropped from 60% in early December to about below sub 40% at the moment. So is Bitcoin facing a decoupling? I've never really, and this is my personal thing, I've never really, everyone likes to do their trades versus Satoshi, and unfortunately Satoshi doesn't buy my house in Australia. So I always bring it back to fiat currency, and I always bring it back to US. I guess that's just the main player. I was watching some show today and they were saying 99% or 95% of the world's everything's pegged against the US dollar. So until that changes, then I guess we'll play by those rules. But yes, there are people out there trade against Satoshi, and I'm sure they'll make more money because it's another avenue, another marketplace. But at the end of the day, it gets hard because I like to think of what I invest in dollars and what I pull out in dollars. Because those things are less volatile than Satoshis and Ethereum. That's just my opinion. In the same token, that's what could be a risk to some project like this. The team's fairly solid. They've got a fairly, even the advisors been on WePower. Most of this team legitimately checks out on LinkedIn. Go have a look for yourselves, guys. They're pretty smart, cluey. I did see a trend that did pique my interest. They work for MTG Group, or a couple of them work for the MTG Group. Whether they've come off of that as a team or not, who knows? But look, even this bloke here, Mark O'Byrne, he's a pretty good guru on gold. The rest of the team are fairly fairly intelligent. They've got some background. They've got some experience. And they're in the European Union. The white map basically says they're under European regulation. So not the white map, white paper. Have a look at the white paper. Anyone who's really good with finance, by all means, have a look at it. Ask the hard questions. Not all of us are going to be financially skilled. There's a lot in it. As I said, it's a tiered approach. So I think they want to obviously get the cryptocurrency on the exchange, and then start pegging things slowly but surely against that, and then eventually work to a futures market. So it looks like on the surface feels like what DIMs are going to be, but these guys have got a product. They've actually got a beta in effect. So if you go into on the top here somewhere, there is an option somewhere. Look, and I did find it where you can actually log into the website. I haven't done it yet, and I probably will do it as part of due diligence if I take this forward. Again, good sale in the sense that 10 million combined with whatever the pre-sale is, which I'm hoping is probably about 30. Maybe a nice point to get in on something that looks legit. If you look at these guys, ICO, the LinkedIn profiles, they're fairly robust. Again, it's kind of one of those things where you can argue PhDs don't always win the race. Like, especially look at Freno Matrix. It's just been released today, and we're waiting for one chain to be released. I'm dying for one chain to be released, and I'm hoping it doesn't end up being a big disappointment. But it's what we're in this race for. So Matrix came out. In a nutshell, as we wait for the Australian NBN to wind up the bloody rats that are powering it, Origin Trail's doing well. Look, that to me it was a low key compared to Matrix, and yet Origin Trail's making steady gains every day, whereas Matrix looks like it's doing some sideways and maybe some downward movement. Again, we'll have to wait for that to load up, but this is the choice. Anyone who wants to give us a real internet connection, yeah, by all means get rid of our Liberal government and give us a half decent connection, copper all the way. Anyway, this one grabbed my eyes while we're waiting for that crap to load, and I'll just move this out there for a second. Yeah, web pages slowing down your browser. What's the bet? There's some Monero mining happening, something like in the pages. Alright, CELLBlocks. This grabbed my interest. Now I am going to have a look at this a bit more later, because this one, the user case. Look, I'm intrigued. I've seen a lot of stuff come out in this space in the last few months, and this one just takes the cake. So I'm envisioning Orange is the New Black as the board of advisors, but look, who knows? I'm going to have a look at this more, because the prison system is money over in America, and I follow money wherever it goes. But a monetary system designed for inmates to fully trust. So I imagine cigarettes and narcotics are going to have their own new exchange. Oh, look, I'm intrigued. I'm going to have a look. Look, this one just has to be ripped apart, just even if it's for novelty value. Here's Matrix over there. Oh yes, there's Matrix. Don't know what the ICO price is. It was an absolute schmozzle. Watched it crash, had a laugh. Watched it crash, had a laugh, and then watched the whales get in big time. Now, at the moment, I would suggest that currency there, that volume right there, was about the same order as one whale by itself had in. So, look, it's going to be interesting. I imagine there's going to be a controlled dump, and then unless these guys come up with some product soon, and to me, sorry, the white paper looked like it was all theory, no reality. Especially when I started asking about how they obtain the 200k transactions per second. That's a holy grail number, and for them just to pluck it out arbitrarily without actually supplying some maths or some science behind that, and then get banned when I politely asked a question, because it's a legitimate question. I think even Visa only does 20,000, so that's a bold statement. And then these guys, I won't go too much, but a lot of bold statements in that white paper, and that's the quality of the return so far. Now, admittedly, it's only 12 hours, but we'll have a look at Origin Trail. Now, Origin Trail, this white paper actually was pretty good, to the point where even they were talking about how they corrected QR codes or barcodes to interface with the industry's supply chain industry's systems better. Makes perfect sense to me. I've worked in supply chain, mate. We used to get pinged for not having barcodes in the right spot of boxes. They'd send the whole shipment back. So look, can't take the mountain of Muhammad. You sometimes got to make Muhammad come to the mountain. So in this case, I would say Origin Trail is done quite well. It's been out for a few days, and it's held its own. Doesn't look like a pump and dump. The volume's pretty significant, and even STD, Ether Delta, has got to be happy with that kind of volume for itself. So look, I've been watching Origin Trail. I think it was a quality project. I can't remember much about the team, to be honest, but the project itself, look, sometimes a project and its sensibility can out-survive a team. And you think about a lot of companies, it's not just, the team is an important part, but if the team is the only part of that company, then you've got problems. And a company should be able to out-survive a team, should be able to grow and continue. Look at Apple. Jobs is long gone, and someone else has to take on the mantle. Okay, so look, coming back to Globitex, I'm pretty interested. Love someone else's opinion on this. I think it's going to be a silent creeper. It's got a few days left in the ICO. I'm going to dig in some more, see if I can find any dirt on them. That's what I'm looking for, is deception. Apart from that, I got to say the TG channel, Liz is pretty active in there. As long as it's Liz, we don't know nowadays. But yeah, look, have a look at that one. I'll come back with some more in the next couple of days that I've got my eyes on. I've definitely got to have a CELLBlocks. Oh yes, now while we're on it, ICOs, because for example there's only 10 million euro in that last ICO I just mentioned, Globitexico Global. I love it. It's a tongue twister. Wait, I'll go back to that. I feel like saying gobby. Globitexico. Now I'd love to know how they pronounce it. It could be Globitexico, or but by the way, 10 million euro pre-sale, Ethereum price catching out a lot of pre-sales. They've got tokens to burn, and poor old whales to cry, because I think all the people buying in the pre-sales watched all the caps get met, and now the ICOs have got tokens to get rid of, otherwise they're going to burn them. And for giving away free tokens, get into it. So Nucleus Vision has announced today that a hard cap was tied to conduct a card sale. Perfect. So what it means, what do we do with a whole bunch of tokens? They've got to give them away or burn them. Now, as I said, I can't wait to see the expression on the people who's actually bought them, but we'll see how that goes. Now, the same form for whitelisted and non-whitelisted users is there. Main thing is making sure you have a Telegram account, a Reddit account, and your own Ethereum address. At the moment, I didn't see anything about KYC, and maybe it probably won't be an issue because no money's going to be exchanged between you and them anyway. Again, they're going to keep an eye on the channels, and this is another thing I always suggest: keep your finger on the pulse on these channels. A lot of them nowadays are selling up or closing the main sale before they start because of the sudden spike in Ethereum. It's got to be causing some havoc with some people that planned around pegging it against US dollar, but well, I guess for people like us and not financial advice, free tokens needs to knock a gift horse in the mouth. So yeah, sign up, fill the form in, and see what happens. Last free tokens I got was from the Kenya token sale. I'm sure that wasn't an accident, but thank you for the donation, Kenya. I don't know how I got it was something like 1,600 Kenya tokens for nothing. I wasn't part of any bounty, and it looks like the GBX ICO doesn't have a bounty either, so I wouldn't get too far. And a lot of people nowadays, if you're starting to notice the tone in some of the big commentators, especially in Berlin, it's starting to become hard to find a good ICO because they get swamped. And so he's now changing tack, but the problem is a bloke like him can't change tack because he brings the market with him. So at the end of the day, the ones that Ian doesn't bloody knock back, it's like John Westad. It's the ones that Ian knocks back that we look at, or the ones he doesn't look at. So let's have a look at that GBX. Keep an eye on that one. I'll have a look at a few others. I'll check my checklist. Origin Trail, Nucleus Vision, yeah, and CELLBlock. Alright everyone, it's bloody hot out here. It's 45 again for the last 2 days. I will plod along. I'll keep looking at some new ICOs. In a nutshell, the market still looks a little bit sideways to me. It's sitting around about $550 billion total market cap. Nothing really to suggest it's changing volume. In fact, the volume looks like it's starting to contract a bit. Even the channels that the coins like Litecoin and Bitcoin are trading in are narrowing. So volatility when there's low volume. In other words, a big order comes in, we'll see what happens. But look, I'm not too interested in getting into Bitcoin until or any market until Bitcoin turns plus 14 and holds it. It's still struggling to get past 13,400 US at the moment. So look, what I'm concerned about is all the people that have been keeping the market up are retailers. They're all the people who are just chucking $100 here, $100 there. And yeah, I've had this argument with my mate. There's only a point in time where you can chuck in, like a retail market, chuck in money and go, wait up, I'm still losing it. So if it goes from 550 to 450, I reckon that might trigger something further, and we'll start seeing Bitcoin get around 8,800. And depending at that point, then all the people that have been investing in the last month to the last couple of days are going to suffer.